On today's show, we've got a new number one at the box office. Kind of figured it was going to happen, even though Project Hail Mary is really, really good. Big movie weekend coming up, and some more bad news on some bad movies. Let's go.
Fucking go! Let's fucking go.
Here I come. Here I come.
We will watch your career with great interest.
You are such a kid.
This is where the fun begins.
It's showtime. And here we go.
Welcome into this episode of the Movie Geek Podcast. I'm your host, George T., and this is the box office report, and also what is to come this weekend, and plus some good news, but a lot of bad news as it comes to movies that are coming up in 2027. So, again, when are we going to stop trying to needle more money out of franchises? We'll get to that. First, if you're new to the channel, welcome in. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And, thank you for following along if you are here as a subscriber. All right, let's get going here. We got, like I said, a busy weekend coming up, but let's get to the box office report. So, at number 5, last week's number 4, Reminders of Him, making $2.2 million. Hoppers is number 4. It was number 2 last week, making 5.8. The new movie, The Drama, made its debut at number 3 at 14.3. Project Hail Mary falling to second place at 30.6. And number 1 overall, Super Mario Galaxy, $130.9 million. Now, again, with Project Hail Mary is really, really good. What I said last week on the show was there are 2 movies that will probably give it a run for its money. Super Mario Galaxy I figured would because of the kid factor, plus it also had 2 extra days to really get a boost for its weekend. So when people went to see it on Wednesday, they told their friends, hey, this is actually a pretty good movie. Let's go see it. Boom. They were seeing it. So $130.9 million. Now, that is a tremendous opening weekend. Let's see if they can carry it on. The Drama, finishing third, that's not the worst thing in the world. It's, it's a movie I will get to see at some point, I think this week, so I'll have a review for it. But not a bad debut. So, and Reminders of Him still doing strong there, and of course Hopper's doing pretty well still, making a ton of money. It has made $149.6 million domestically, so pretty good. Project Hail Mary right now has made $217 million, so keep it going, Project Hail Mary. Right now, number 1 on my box office for 26. But we all know that there's so much more to come this year. All right, like I said, we got a busy weekend. We had a very soft weekend for Easter, but now we're going to ramp it up a lot here. We've got 2 movies coming to streaming service right away. We have The Outcome, which is coming on Apple TV. Keanu Reeves stars in this film. Jonah Hill, Cameron Diaz, and Martin Scorsese are also acting in this film. Beloved Hollywood star Reef Hawk, played by Keanu Reeves, becomes the target of an extortion plot when he receives a mysterious video that's sure to shatter his image and end his career. Hoping to identify the blackmailer, he soon embarks on a soul-searching journey to make amends with anyone he could have possibly wronged. So, this looks pretty good. I think the acting from the trailer looks pretty good. So if I had Apple TV, I'd be able to watch this, but unfortunately, I do not. So if you have Apple TV and you are going to watch this with Keanu, drop it in the comments or um, try to contact me somewhere. It's on the page there. So Netflix is rolling out another catastrophic disaster movie called Thrash. So, amidst a catastrophic hurricane, a coastal town battles nature's wrath and an onslaught of sharks. Yeah, you didn't see that one coming, right? Catastrophic hurricane, sharks. No, this is not Sharknado. Okay. Braving torrential rain, debris, and darkness, they unite to survive the deadly predators and make it through the storm. Now, this movie looks exactly like Crawl. Crawl had this devastating hurricane, and we got crocodiles and alligators. This looks exactly the same. Copy and paste. Boom, boom. Now it's sharks. At least it is not Sharknado. Let's just put it that way. So, we'll see how this does. Obviously with Netflix, I'll be able to see it, but will I enjoy it? Probably not. If from the trailer it looks exactly like Crawl, I'm probably not going to like that. But we'll see how it goes. Alright, so that is on streaming. Let's go to in limited release, we've got The Yeti. Meryl Sunday, played by the great Corbin Burnson, and Hollis Bannister, played by William Sadler, vanish in Alaska. Ellie, Brittany Ann, and Merrill Jr., played by Eric Nelson, mount a search, but an ancient threat stalks their expedition into the wilderness, hunting them as they seek the truth behind the disappearances. It screams of Sci-Fi Channel. Just saying. But that is going to be in limited release. We have a documentary filmmaker embarking on a journey, the traveling companion. A documentary filmmaker depends on his friend's airline employee benefits for free flights. When the friend finds a girlfriend, he desperately tries to preserve his travel privileges. So again, a quirky little comedy slash documentary. It's pretty interesting. Then we got a movie called Mermaid. This looks bizarre as anything. When a child longing to be a mermaid crosses paths with a grief-stricken drag queen on the verge of giving up, the unlikely pair form a life-saving bond, one that will force them both to risk everything in the end. Again, this looks very bizarre, but again, another one of these dependent movies where they meet that person that really is going to drive them to be better. So check that out. We have another Hamlet movie, not Hamnet, but Hamlet. This is by Roz Ahmed. He was the bad guy in the Venom movie. He was also in Relay, which came out last year. He's a really good actor. A man seeks revenge against his uncle for murdering his father in a modern-day retelling of Shakespeare's Hamlet. Again, right there, all you need to know. Retelling of Shakespeare's Hamlet. You need to stop doing this. It's just like Pride and Prejudice. How many movies of those, right? Name a period piece, and they've done a bunch of them. So, we have a chilling horror film coming out called Newborn. After serving 7 years in solitary confinement, Chris Newburn, played by David O'Wally, seeks to rebuild his life and reconnect his own family to find the freedom that has become a terrifying psychological battleground. Um, like I said, this is says kind of a horror film, and it looks pretty good. I'll definitely get to check it out at some point um, in in the coming weeks. Then we get a movie called The Christophers. Ian McKellen and James Corden are in this film. Desperate for an inheritance, two siblings conspire to forge their father's unfinished paintings so that they become valuable after his death. It is a comedy, a drama com. So, yeah, check that out. We get a Japanese anime called Chayo. In a world where humans and mer people exist, Princess Chahu gets engaged to human engineer Steven. Seems very Little Mermaidish, but obviously Japanese anime style. So there is that. All right, now we got a movie called Bunny Lover, spelled Lob, no E-R. A cam girl navigates a toxic client relationship while reconnecting with her estranged dying father, exploring complex relationships and family dynamics. Katarina Zhu is the star of this film. So basically, she's a cam girl, probably OnlyFans model, or she's on one of those other ones, but gets into a toxic relationship with somebody she's met through the site, but uh, trying to reconnect with her family. So, also opening this weekend is a movie called Beast. This is MMA legend Pat James, now a commercial fisherman, is pulled back into the cage when his brother is in danger. Reuniting with his old coach Sammy, he commits to one final fight in one championship against its champion Xavier World. Russell Crowe, Luke Hemsworth, and Daniel McPherson are starring in this film. So, uh, coming off of the Smashing Machine, the Beast looks just like that as far as bringing back the MMA early days feel, and I think this will probably do well. It is in small release though; it is not in big release. So, but I think it'll do pretty well. I mean, the Smashing Machine did okay. I know they said it was bomb, but it actually did okay. So, all right, now we got another comedy. This one is called California Sheeman, although it should say scheming, but it's spelled differently because it's two Scottish lads from Dundee conned the music industry by pretending to be an established California rap duo, uh, bagging a record deal and appearing on MTV until their scam is unraveled. James McAvoy and Samuel Bottomley play the two Scottish lads in this film. It looks pretty funny, especially James McAvoy. He plays a really good role in this. So I'll try to check this out. All right, in a big release, I've seen a lot of previews for this movie everywhere. You, Me, and Tuscany. Anna, played by Halle Bailey, impulsively jets off to Tuscany, Italy to stay at a stranger's villa without permission. Caught inside the house by the man's mother, she convinces the woman that she is his fiancée. That little lie soon becomes a big problem when Anna develops a growing attraction to a strange, handsome cousin. So basically, this girl meets this guy from Italy. He says to meet him in his villa. Uh, she doesn't know why, but she just goes out there, and then eventually, uh, you know, she's been discovered by this guy's mom, and then she winds up finding this engagement ring, so she puts it on her finger. So now she now has to have a con, but in the meantime, she runs into this handsome stranger and who happens to be his cousin, and you know sparks love. So definitely a rom com for the weekend. Then we got Faces of Death, another horror film. A woman employed as a website content moderator comes across a series of violent videotapes reproducing death scenes from a film. Um, I want to liken this movie to VHS, but a little bit different tone to those VHS movies. Um, I know this has gotten some praise, um, but so far I will say the horror films for this year have not been overly good, just in my opinion anyway. I mean, Scream 7 was bad. I've got movie reviews coming up this week with a couple of movies that came out obviously recently, and I gotta say, just have not been impressed with 2026 movies this year. Finally, I did a trailer reaction video on this, but Exit 8. This is a movie developed from an indie game. That's a computer game. Strange events plague a young man as he searches for the exit in an endless subway tunnel. So, if you haven't seen the trailer or you haven't seen my trailer reaction video, well, obviously go back and look at it. Like it if you need to. But this looks like an endless time loop. From what I gather, is there are anomalies in there, so things that don't belong in there need to get fixed, and it's just a constant Groundhog Day kind of thing until it all gets fixed, or unless he dies. So, and that is kind of what I believe is this movie. I know George is kind of excited for it, so I'll probably wind up getting to see this weekend. But I've never played the game. I'm really not a PC gamer. I played some demos of games, but I'm not into that. But yeah, so that is your box office report. So yeah, it's gonna be a big weekend for small movies and streaming services. All right, quick update. So now that we're into April, I'll give you an update on so far um, what goals I've made so far, or where progress for those goals were. Remember, I had said that at the beginning of the year, if you haven't seen that one, go back and see it. It's the top 25 for 2026 one. But I wanted to try and see 250 films this year. So far at the quarter mark, I am at, I believe it was 85. So that's not too bad. Got a long way to go, but I've been watching series too. Like I said, I wanted to watch 15 total shows this year. I'm already at 8 new shows, or shows that I'm watching or have been done with. Paradise just finished. I'm waiting for Hunting Party to be finished. Mall just started. Um, so there's been a lot of TV shows that I've actually seen, which kind of surprises me on that. But So hopefully I'll be able to break that. But I only wanted to see 15 new series or 15 either new shows or next seasons. Daredevil's also going on right now, so there's a lot of stuff I've been watching. But let's get to the news now. There's only one bit of news that I'm actually kind of curious about, but at the same time, I have my reservations. So let's start with that one. We have a release date on Spaceballs 2. Yes, the movie is coming out April 23rd of next year. Yes, the highly anticipated sequel. And I say that facetiously because I'm not sure we really need to. I love Spaceballs. I can watch that film without sound. I can literally recite every single line in that film. That's why I hesitate to say it's going to be an anticipated movie for me. Don't get me wrong, I will go see it. But I'm not giving a big, rah-rah for it because I just don't want to be disappointed. So I'm going to have no expectations for this film. I will wait and see a trailer for it, probably, maybe as we get into September, October, maybe even November. But again, I caution it. But I also wanted to mention it because I loved Spaceballs. I really did. All right, let's get to, as you can see, and obviously unless you're new to this program, Marvel's working on an Avengers project featuring the Eternals and Celestials. Okay, this is kind of where I jump into the brainiacs at Marvel. You have so much momentum now with Spider-Man and Doomsday coming out and Secret Wars that you may make 2 movies out of. Why are we thinking about resurrecting the worst movie of all the Marvel movies? And even you've tried to ignore it for the longest time. Celestials did show up in the Captain America movie Brave New World last year, but I thought it was kind of one of those, we'll just put it in a nice bow and we'll just kind of forget that it ever happened. No, you fooled me on this one. But actually, good news for Marvel. We are going to get, right after Daredevil and right before Spider-Man Brand New Day, we're getting a Frank Castle 2-episode miniseries. Because he's not in Daredevil right now, but he will be in Spider-Man, so we need to bridge somewhere. So these 2 will bridge, which begs the question, will Daredevil be in Spider-Man? Maybe, maybe not. I would like him to think he would be. If Frank is there, why are we not getting Daredevil? Also, who else is going to be in this film for Spider-Man? Because we also have some news on another season of Daredevil, which may bring back the Defenders. So, yes, Marvel is thinking about doing a horrible series with Eternals and the Celestials, but is actually doing something, hopefully, with the Defenders for next season in Daredevil. Or maybe they might show up in Spider-Man. Who knows? Or they might show up in the Frank Castle Punisher show. I don't know. All right. 2 franchises that really need to just end. Let's start with the first one. Scream 8 is currently in the works. Kevin Williamson mentioned it, but he said, you know what, I don't really want to do it. The backlash from Scream 7 was too much. He didn't want to do it. However, the studio said, you know what, we're gonna get some new blood. sisters, Lily, Lila, and Nora Zuckerman are writing the film. So this may be the fan service of all fan services, I'm guessing. This will be the Saw 7 movie where it wraps it all up in a nice tidy bow, and then we went, we're gonna throw 8. We're gonna, Jigsaw. We're gonna do Spiral, and then we're gonna do Saw 10. So this franchise is not going away anytime soon. I just don't get it. Finally, one more. The Conjuring needs to end. It was reported that the Conjuring movies, if they were going to do any more, were going to be total spin-offs. It will not show Ed and Lorraine Warren anymore. Ed and Lorraine were finished with the last one. So we won't get to see Patrick Wilson and Burrell. Anyway, I'm not going to edit that out. It's too late. The Conjuring First Communion is already scheduled for September 10th. It is a prequel story that shows how Ed and Lorraine became who they were. Okay, so franchise that said they weren't going to touch Ed and Lorraine Warren's life or anything else like that went, you know what? We're going to do one anyway. Now we're going to get an early version of what happened in the last film, where we get to see Ed and Lorraine have their daughter, and all that was fake, by the way. A lot of it was. That whole movie they probably should have done something different with it. I mentioned that on the podcast. You might want to go and see the paranormal side of my channel to see that episode. It's rather lengthy because there's a lot of fake and real stuff that was in those Conjuring movies. Again, I don't know everything about the paranormal community. I really don't. But I know what I know because I live in this area. And Ed and Lorraine, for all the good that they tried to do, there was a lot of bad. So, and again, I'm not going to sit here and slaughter them when they don't have a voice. And I didn't know them, so I'm not going to talk badly about them. I know, again, that some of these movies were not factually accurate. Again, starting with the first Conjuring movie, Bathsheba was not the main entity in that house. So, all right. Well, that is all for this episode. I know it was rather lengthy, but again, there's so much out there right now. So, yeah, this is gonna be a wild weekend. I don't see anything really taking down Super Mario Galaxy this weekend. I think right now it probably winds up 1, 2, maybe even the drama stays in 3. I just don't think there's enough buzz for some of these movies, like You, Me, and Tuscany. Maybe it draws. I think it'll be in the top 5. Maybe third. But as far as the others, I don't see any movie that is out there that would probably make a good showing in this. So, all right, I will see you all at the movies.
You like that, baby? Let him know where I came from, yeah!
See you next time. Bye.
Waiting for you. Goodbye. 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 Hasta la vista, baby.
That's all, folks.